All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video, and in today's video, guys, we're gonna be having a little bit of fun in today's video. We're gonna be all over the place, checking out 4 totally different leaders, but every leader will be Luffy. But no, seriously, we're gonna be checking out 4 different Luffys in today's video, and I know this is a very popular character in the this is the main protagonist, right, in One Piece. So they're very, how do I say this? Bandai makes sure that we have this character front and center, right? A lot of leader representation, and right now, guys, honestly, there's like bare minimum there are 2 Luffy leaders that are absolutely competitive as of OP08.5 and probably going into OP09, and that being Purple Luffy and Black Yellow Luffy. But then Purple Black Luffy is still yet to be figured out, I feel like, but people are starting to figure it out more and more and get more and more comfortable with it. And once the meta gets established, I think that's where Purple Black Luffy will be able to step up and like have answers to whatever the meta is. And then, of course, last but not least, Red Purple Luffy. I think Red Purple Luffy will struggle in OP08.5 a little bit, but I think going into OP09, okay, Red Purple Luffy I think is going to get some pretty decent tools. Okay, definitely something to watch out for at your locals. All right, so I got a little bit ahead of myself there. Let me go ahead and break down today's video, tell you what we're going to be getting into, and we'll go from there. So first things first, we are going to be checking out a game in the lab of Blue Doflamingo versus Purple Luffy. Okay, another Purple Luffy game. And then after that, we will go straight into the sim. I've got 4 games lined up for us, 1 of each leader. In no particular order, it's going to be Purple Black Luffy, Purple Luffy, Red Purple Luffy, and Black Yellow Luffy. Okay, so today should be a pretty fun video all over the place, checking out all the different, versions of Luffy. Not all the different versions, excuse me. There are others, but I think there's a promo blue leader Luffy, and then there's also a starter deck 01 red Luffy. It's crazy, right? But not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Not complaining. But we're going to be checking out those 4 games on the sim, and then we'll finish off the video by checking out the different decks on the One Piece TCG sim deck builder, and we'll wrap it up in that way. Okay, guys? Pretty chill video. Nothing too crazy. No comprehensive deep dives or anything like that. We're just going to be having a little bit of fun in today's video. Okay, so let's without any further ado, let's hop into this. First things up, we got to head over to the lab. Okay, here we go. So what is the lab? A lot of newer players might be wondering, or if any newer listeners out there listening to me for the first time, what is the lab? This portion of my video, excuse me, the first part of all of my videos, I try to dedicate to community submitted games. It kind of works as like a miniature coaching session where people will submit their games to me, and then, excuse me, guys, and then I will just, review them in real time. So first time, blind reaction, first time seeing them. I don't pre-watch them or anything like that. And, and then we go from there. I tell you guys what I think, and I hope, hopefully it'll be used in a way to help out some of the newer players or even some of the intermediate level players get even better. Okay. So if you're interested in me reviewing one of your games, it's actually very simple and completely free. All you have to do is record a game. Okay, record one of your games. Most people use OBS for that. So record one of your games, and then after you do that, upload it to YouTube. After you've uploaded it to YouTube, hop on the VB Theory Discord, and I have a channel called Review My Game. And as soon as you're done, recording your game and uploading it, hop on the Discord, like I said, go to the Review My Game channel and post the link there. As soon as I see it, guys, I give you the thumbs up, and you're just, whenever it's your turn in line, you're up. Okay. If you have any questions on that as a newer player, please do not hesitate to ask down in the comment section below. All right. Okay, guys, let's finally get into this game. So the volume is off, the speed is on 2x, and the quality is as high as it will go. All right, let's do this, guys. So Blue Doflamingo versus Purple Luffy. 2 very, very strong decks. Okay, it's going fast here. I do play these on 2x speed. Real quick, excuse me. These are 2 extremely powerful decks in the current meta of OP08.5, and there are no signs of them really slowing down going into OP09, especially with Blue Doflamingo. Purple Luffy as well, but it looks like Blue Doflamingo is seeing a lot of play over in the East currently for OP09. Now, with that in mind, there's one other thing I want to say or mention in regards to that. If you're a newer player, okay, number one, it will be hard to find these decks currently because they just came out in the West. But guys, if you can get your hands on either one of these purple or blue decks, they're absolutely incredible starter decks for new players and in the top tier of competition in the game. So not only is it like, okay, you know, I'm a new player, I guess I'll pick up a starter deck. Well, you're going to pick up a starter deck. If you can get one of these two, you'll be picking up a starter deck that is also like a tier 1 or at least tier 1.5 deck right now in OP08.5 and going into OP09. So really, really good time to pick up the game. Okay, now, Purple Luffy went first. Let me see who chose to go first real quick, guys. Whoop, this one went all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so it looks like the Purple Luffy player won the dice roll, and they chose to go first, okay? So now we can actually really dive into the game. They passed. They don't really have a turn 1 play until OP09, I believe. And then Doflamingo passes as well. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know if that was a play mistake or not, but hear me out real quick. Not playing out the blue, the 2-cost Marshall D Teach in hand, excuse me, that may or may not have been a play mistake, but they decided they didn't want to do it because notice they do mouse over the card. Okay, their turn, and look at this. They mouse over it, and they just say cancel and go. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I personally would have played that card out for 2 reasons, especially if we're going to take the first hit that aggressively. Did they swing for 5 and pass? I am so confused right now, guys. Hang on a second. Okay, so we passed the turn back. They ramped to 4. They didn't load any Dawn up. And we took the hit. Okay, so I am fine with the idea of aggressively taking life, but I don't know about against a purple deck who's about to ramp to 4, because they could have, I know a lot of the purple Luffy decks are not running it, but they could have potentially been playing the 4-cost Trafalgar Law. I always try to play around discard effects. For any of the newer players out there, the 4-cost Trafalgar Law is a 4-cost 5,000 power blocker, has a 1k counter, and it has an on-play Dawn -1. If your opponent has 7 or more cards in hand, they have to trash 2 cards at random. So I would have tried to play around that. And I'm also a little bit perplexed why we didn't play out the Marshall D Teach. I would have absolutely slammed that card down because we had a Jinbei in our opening hand, right? Like we have the Jinbei, so we actually could have. I guess we couldn't have set what the Jinbei was going to hit, but we could have, you know, I don't know. We could have done something with that. And the other idea is this: Purple Luffy doesn't have a lot of removal. So, okay, here we go. Now, sorry, guys, I have to keep pausing and you know, explaining stuff because there's some very deep plays going on here. Very nice. And especially since we got the Weevil. So it would have been turn 1, Marshall D Teach, turn 2, Jinbei into the Weevil. But who knows? All right, so we're going to swing for 5. We took life very aggressively against this Luffy. Playing out the Jinbei, cheating out the Weevil. We still have 7 cards in hand. They're going to swing for 7. And they're already down to 3 life. Okay, so they're already down to 3 life. Okay, swing for 7. Yeah, we're just going to beat them down now, right? Just absolute beatdown time. Even 6s would be okay here. A lot of times people ask, when do you swing for 6? When do you swing for 7? In this situation, swinging for 7 is good. But swinging for 6 is almost just as good because look at this. They're going to have to either give us a 2k counter or block and give us a 2k counter. I'll take either one, but anything over 5 is fine because we don't want to swing for 5 or they get the free block with the blocker. So they block, they give us a 2k counter, swing for 7. So I'm actually surprised you didn't go for the Eustace Kid there. Not that that was a play mistake, but I do prefer to go for the board. They play out Magellan. They're going to ramp. They're going to get the Dawn back with the Eustace Kid. Play out another Magellan. That's pretty annoying. And now, but we're already at 6 Dawn though, right? We're already at 6 Dawn. Play out the Boa. Very nice. We'll set the top 3 cards here. Attach a Dawn to the leader. Swing for 7. Cheat out the card we wanted. It's another Boa. And guys, this is what Blue Doflamingo does. The game's not over, but this is what Blue Doflamingo does. Block there, 0 cost 3k, and then, whoops, we didn't attack with our other guys. Hang on a second. Hang on 1 second. So we swung for 8, counter, and in turn. So didn't want to swing for 5 and 6 there. I'm very surprised at that as well, especially since we put on so much gas there. All right, so hear me out. We're going to go back just a little bit here to the turn prior. So right here, we swung for 7. I believe they took it, right? So they took the hit for 7 this turn, right? So we swing for 7. This was the turn prior, guys. They take the first hit. Or did they? Excuse me. Did they count? Yeah, they took the first hit. Then we swing for 7, and they use the Eustace Kid and 2K counter out. Excuse me. So right here, I know we go for life here, but I would actually go for the Eustace Kid, because that's another card out of their hand, or they lose the blocker. Either one's fine with me. So then, excuse me, guys, my throat. So then they play out the double Magellan here, right? We counter out to save the Jinbei perfect. Now right here, watch what happens again. I'm a little bit confused, because remember, if we had not attacked into their life, they would have 2 cards less in hand, or the Eustace Kid would not be on the board right now. 2 cards left in hand, because remember, we didn't attack their life if we had attacked into the body. And they had to give us a card from their hand to defend the Eustace Kid. So right here, they would only have 5 cards in hand. Now watch this. We attach this, swing for 7, perfect, cheating out the Jinbei, cheating out the Boa, and adjusting our top cards. I like that, putting the red rock on top, very solid. And we're coming in for 8 here. So they block and give us a 0-cost 3K, right? So now, I'm sorry guys, it's going so quickly, I got to pause it right when they do it. Now they only have 5 cards in hand. Now remember, if we had attacked into the character last turn, they'd only have 3 cards in hand. And then we could swing with Weevil into the Eustace Kid for 6. And that forces a card out of their hand. And I guess, so that's what I'm trying to say is, when you're in this board state, why not just fully capitalize? There's no way they're getting through. We have 3 life, and we have 2 blockers, and we have 2, 4, 6K counter in hand, 2 blockers, 3 life. They only have 3 people that are going to attack this turn at the, because they're not going to swing with their leader. Now, yes, they could play out like a 9-cost Kaido. I understand, but my point is, if we're swinging everything into this Eustace Kid every single time, it's going to really start adding up, where they're just losing cards from hand, and we're just keeping cards on the board. You don't always have to go for life. That's the main thing I want to stress. Going for the board is definitely what I would prefer in this situation, but I'm not saying it's a play mistake either to try to just rush your opponent down, okay? Because you don't want to lollygag, you don't want to get complacent, you do want to go for the win. Okay, so now we're on their 10 Dawn turn. Let's see what they choose to do here. 6 into 5, give them a 2K. Yep, I like that. Yeah, I wouldn't let anything go here. Yeah, there's no way I would let even a single card go here. Okay, so right here in this situation, we could very easily just crush them, right? So they're going to swing for 6, block out, and then do a 1K. Absolutely. So block out again and do a 1K. Yep. So in this situation, I 1,000,000% agree with blocking out like we did, because they just don't have a chance now. So let's just do math, right? So now we have how much Dawn? Okay, we actually don't have much Dawn because of those 2 Magellans, right? So we have 8 Dawn. But in this situation, we can swing 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, so we could swing for 7,000 5 times and 6,000 once. So that's what I would do here. I would do a quick poke for 6K with Jinbei, like with one of these Jinbeis, or actually even the Weevil. Swing for 6K with the Weevil, see what they do, and then go from there. And then everything would be a 7K from there, and they literally can't get out of it, right? Because 5 7Ks, that's 2 cards from hand every time, right? So they have 5 cards in hand, and they have 1 life. They do have blockers, so we're going to eat through those, but the point is we'll be getting right through them. Okay, Gravity Blade, Raging Tiger. Okay, yeah, that works too. Swing 5, swing 5. We're getting straight 2Ks out of their hand. This is horrible. Swing for 5 more, another 2K, and now 7. That's going through. 6 is probably going to go through. Oh, holy cow, guys. They almost had, like, that was almost how many 2K counters in a row? That was crazy. Hang on a second. We got to count how many 2K counters that was. So this guy had 4 2K counters in their hand, and they got another one from their life, unless that's where the 9-cost Linlin was. 1, 2... So here we go. 3. These are all 2K counters. Okay, they take that one. 2K counter. And then it was a 1K counter, excuse me. So it was like, it was 3 2K counters, then the 1K. That was crazy. That was a really good game. Very fun one. All right, so one thing I do want to mention real quick before we move on to the next part of the video. I'm just going to do a quick recap, fast-forwarding through it. So right here, I would have just blasted out the Marshall D Teach. I don't think there's any shame in that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But hey, I guess we didn't need it to begin with. But still, that worked out nicely, keeping that in hand for counter power later in the game, because we do have the absolute, goated start here with the Jinbei into Weevil. Swinging for 7, we take that. That's why I didn't like taking the attack earlier. So real quick, I do think we took this one attack a little too aggressively. Swing for 5. I think we should have won. So that's where I would have used the 1K counter with my what's his name, Marshall D. Teach. I would have just used it there because I wouldn't want to take any greedy 5K hits this early on. I don't think there's a point. It wasn't the worst thing to do, but I personally would have just gotten out of it. No big deal. Okay, and then right here. So this is where I would have changed things up a little bit. So when we swung for 7, I do like swinging for 7. I think that was perfect. They blocked. They gave us a body to attack into and start getting some of these 2K counters out of their hand early. So there was a 2K counter. This guy had so many 2K counters. This game is crazy. So we play out the buggy there, swing in. I'm not sure what just happened. How did we get the buggy out? Oh, was that the top card? that was the top card of the life was the buggy. And then we did that there, but I would have swung into the Captain Kidd. Right here, they play out the double Magellan. Very annoying, but I love this turn that we had. This was an excellent setup turn right here. Attaching the 1 Dawn there, swing for 7. They do the Jinbei, cheating out the Boa. Now, hear me out. I would have probably attached the other Dawn to my Jinbei for an 8K, for another 6K attack to attack into the Eustace Kid. So watch how that would have gone. Instead of giving the 1 Dawn to the leader, getting him to 8, I would have put 6K on the Jinbei. They block out that, and then we didn't attack. So right here, I would have attacked. I would have kept pressing them at this point. Okay, because remember, we have so much counter power in hand. Okay, so see, here's why I don't understand why we didn't attack. So we could have gone 6 and 6 into the Eustace Kid. That would have been 2 more cards out of their hand, right? Now watch this. Even though we didn't attack, watch this. We defend out aggressively with every card in our hand as if we did. You see what I'm saying? So watch. Okay, we used our 2K counter there. So why not attack with the rest of our board? You know, why not attack with the rest of our characters if we're going to do this anyway? Okay. They swung with every card. They swung with every card, and we blocked out effectively with every single one of these. And that's why I think it would have been a little bit smarter to just attack if no reason not to, pretty much. You know what I mean? Okay, and right here, I don't even know if I would have done that. I don't even know if I would have done the Gravity Blade Raging Tiger here. I would have just swung 6K to start. They probably would have used a 2K counter, right? Because we know they had 3 of them. And then from here on out, just all 7Ks. Because with 8 Dawn, you could attach 1 to Weevil, 1 to Boa, 1 to Boa, and then 2 on Jinbei and 2 on the leader. And then 1 was on the original Jinbei for 8. So that would have been exactly 8 Dawn. And it would have been 1 6K, like I said, and then just straight 7Ks across the board. But I think it was going to be the same result no matter what, right? I think it was going to end up being the same result. Okay, really, really good game. All right, give me 1 second to get set up here, guys. Got to black out the screen. Got to move this over and hop over to the games on the sim. Do this as well. There we go. All right, go full screen, and there we are. Okay, so like I said, I don't really have any specific order for these games today, but we're going to be going over black, yellow Luffy, red, purple Luffy, and purple, black Luffy. Okay, guys, first game up here, we got black, yellow Luffy. I've been having that itch lately with this leader, guys. Hang on a second. Why isn't it? There we go. I've been wanting to play this leader more and more because for those who might be new to the channel, Black Yellow Luffy, that was one of the absolute first, like, okay, before Black Yellow Luffy, there was Black Yellow Lin Lin, and I went through an entire arc on this channel, an entire phase of just pure Black Yellow Lin Lin content. And then when Black Yellow Luffy came out, I thought, dude, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be so awesome. And it was. Unfortunately, it was too awesome, and everyone started playing it. And guys, I'm the kind of personality type, I can't do what everyone else is doing. I just can't bring myself to do it. Not to say I won't try all these different decks to get better at the game and to understand them better, but like as far as maining a deck goes, I thought I was going to main Black Yellow Luffy, and then it started winning everything, so I immediately stepped off that. And I don't judge anyone who does play the more competitive decks. I mean, that's completely fine. But I personally didn't want to do that. I enjoy the challenge more of deck building and doing some of the off-meta stuff. Now, real quick, let's get into this game. The volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. So, guys, we got a game of Black Yellow Luffy versus Red Blue Marco. Okay, that's always a sign of a good Marco player not forgetting to do their leader effect on turn 1. You guys remember how it was with Sakazuki? Don't forget to trash your card on turn 1. Good old-fashioned blue-black Sakazuki. That was awesome. Those were good times. Some people are probably like having, you know, flashbacks. Like, what do you mean those were good times? Okay, different strokes for different folks. Right, guys? All right. So they're going to swing it for 8 here. I'm actually going to counter out. What am I doing? So what? All right, what is going on, guys? Hang on. I play out a Flampe here. So watch this. I play out a Flampe, and there is a mind game going on right now. They're swinging for 8. I know they're not stupid, right? I know they're not stupid. What are they doing? And what am I doing countering out? I'm countering out because I'm trying to play around a pudding, okay? Pudding will absolutely ruin me in this matchup. So believe it or not, I'm actually going to play this guy like a straight-up matchup, and then as the game goes on, when I naturally go down to 0 life, I'm going to be able to compete with him like that. All the while, I'm just going to be bashing into him for as much as I can. So that's why, watch this, I aggressively double 2K counter out of this, because the other thing is I had 4 2K counters in my hand, and I just got another one for the turn. So I just have way too many 2K counters, and oh, that hurt really bad to see. That really hurt to see that. I had to get one of those Luffys because I didn't have one yet. I already had a Sabo in hand, but there goes 2 of them. Two Sabos, they're gone. I'll probably never see those again. And I missed an ace. I think I only run 2 aces in my list. That was really unfortunate, seeing that search and a Gecko Moria. So while that search looked beautiful, it would have been very beautiful if it was my hand. It was not. So, okay, so right here, again, they have 4 Dawn open. Let's see what they do. They set their top card. Okay, they use their leader effect, and they set whatever to their life and the rest of the bottom or top of their deck. They play out the Atmos, pushing a card back to hand, revealing those 2 cards. And they push back a Flampe, and they don't attack. So now they know that I'm kind of onto them. They know that I'm trying to counter out, you know, play around the pudding to the best of my ability. But hey, at this point, there's nothing else I can do, so I start filling up my trash with the 5-cost characters. That's the best thing you can do in this situation if they do have a pudding. Okay, swing for 6. I have 7 cards in hand, and who knows, maybe they just did not have a pudding. I could have been playing around something that just didn't exist, right? Which does happen. You have to be very careful about that, but at the same time, I think there are certain cards in the game you have to respect, and I think pudding is one of them, especially for Black Yellow Luffy. So right here, draw 2, trash 2. I'm going to throw every card in my trash that I can, so that there's absolutely no way he can put these cards out of my hand and ruin everything. We're going to play out another Flampe to draw 2 here. And then I think we're going to swing for 7. Technically, I could have got hit with a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger there, and that would have been absolutely atrociously bad. But at the same time, you know, it is what it is. I should have swung in a different order, in other words. Now I'm basically daring him. I'm like, okay, I guess this guy either is not running pudding or just doesn't have it in their hand. Okay, they have 8 Dawn left. Let's see what they do with it. Probably going to be a Rayleigh turn here. Okay, sure. They swing it for 7. I take my last hit, and now next turn I'm going to be able to play out some cards. They play out the ace. They play out an Ezo, and then they don't swing with ace. Very interesting. So that tells me they're probably trying to set up some kind of Gravity Blade Raging Tiger next turn, because why wouldn't you just swing? I mean, maybe they're trying to save the ace. I guess that is an option. But remember, guys, in Whitebeard Pirates leaders, that ace has rush. Okay, he can attack on the turn he has played in a leader that is Whitebeard Pirates type. Okay, so what do we do here? We're on a 10 Dawn turn. I'm in the perfect spot. I'm trying to do something right now, guys. Oh, let's look at my trash real quick, and then we'll do some math here. Okay, all right. So here's my trash. I have 1 Sabo in the trash. I have 3 different Luffys, but one of the one that is the buff Luffy, I call it, and then 2 of the Rocket Boots Luffy. I have 2 Luffy 2-cost characters in hand, 2 Sabos in hand. I have the one of the aces. I don't need ace right now. That card's completely not what I need. But here's the issue. Notice I have no 2-cost cards in my hand. Or excuse me, in my trash. So some people might be wondering, well, why not just play Gecko Moria? If you play Gecko Moria right here, you would just lose the game for the most part, or you'd lose whatever cards you add to life, because I don't have any 2-cost characters to bring back to add to the table to put these cards into my trash. And remember, guys, it's not that I was unconscious of that when I was putting these cards in my trash. I was just specifically trying to play around pudding. So let's see what we do in this situation. I have to play out 2-cost cards from my hand now. Okay. So right here, I think we're going to do probably Luffy and Sabo. I trashed the ace from my hand with the leader effect to add 2 cards to my life. We're going to add these 2 right here. And now we're going to play the cards out. I'm going to play out the Luffy. We'll use that effect, put him in, play out the Sabo, draw 2, trash 2. Very nice. I'm going to trash those 2 Luffys. Like I said, it's just really... It gives me a lot of peace of mind and a lot of comfort against blue decks to start filling up these cards in my trash. Because if they have a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, if they have some type of way to get around these cards, I'm in trouble, right? I'm in trouble. Now, there you go. Is that not what I was literally just saying? Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, and now they're going to swing for... I'm not sure what they're doing. I don't know why they attached a Dawn to their leader. Sure, you can have the Garp. And now they're going to swing for 9 into face, and it looks like we're going to have to give them a counter. Probably just the Luffy or the Sabo. I think either one would have been fine. Okay, so here we go. And now I think it is time for the, you know, one of the most legendary turns in the game where you just drop Gecko. Don't forget to buff with Luffy first. Don't forget to use your Luffy buff first. We'll swing in for 8 here. They give us some cards to counter out. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go ahead and do this. Attach 2 to the leader. We'll trash a card. We'll trash the 5-cost Luffy. We'll, you know, get what we need back. Remember, guys, there is no Sabo in my trash. So we're going to play these cards out like this. Get this guy. Swing in for 11. And now in this situation, I would consider that a play mistake. In this, pause. What am I talking about? In this situation, I would consider what I just did a play mistake. Not trashing the Rocket Boots Luffy to pop the Ezo. Not because I think Ezo could attack into me. But no, Rocket Boots Luffy's effect pops a 4 or less if you have 2 or less life. And draws a card. Drawing the card is the important part. Okay, so let's go. And I also forgot to buff the other Luffy too. There's just a rookie mistake. Well, okay, they probably have to go for lethal here, right? Just swing 11 and 9. So I would have just swung 17. I'm going to be honest. I would have just gone for 17, but I don't think it matters. I have enough to get out of both of these. Okay, we'll get out of both of those, and that's game, guys. There's no way they're surviving all these 9K attacks coming their way next turn. It would have been swing 9K with both Luffys, swing 9K with Gecko. The Rocket Boots Luffy, I'd have probably just swung for 7 or something. All the rest on the leader. GG. Excuse me. Okay, so they're just kind of coming to grips with it. Every now and then you'll play against someone who just doesn't want to let go at the end. Guys, if you lose a game, just quit out. I mean, some people like to type GG. Other people just like to just leave immediately. I'm the person who just leaves immediately whenever I've lost a good game. So they had, hang on, 2K, 1K, 1K, 1K. So they only had 5K encounter in hand. There was no way they were surviving next turn. But like I was saying, guys, if I lose, I'm just leaving right away. You know, especially when I'm probably busting out like 15 or 20 games a day usually, right? And I'm not on the ladder or anything, but I'm just trying to get as many games under my belt as possible. If you beat me, you beat me. I just move on, you know. And it's definitely a better practice to say GG. I'm just being honest with you guys. I just leave right away. Next game, boom, you know, good stuff. As opposed to just sitting there and like waiting for your opponent to disconnect if they've won or something. I don't know what the logic is, and who knows? Maybe they're trying to do the math. You never know. But one thing I do want to check is like, let me see if this guy could have, if I could have gotten out of a 17K attack. So if they had loaded every single card on their Jozu and swung for 17, I'm at 9. So 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Yeah, so this guy was never getting out of that. Okay, but like I said, guys, at this point right here, let me show you, like after they swung in right here, okay, I got out of it. Boom, I auto leave right then. Sometimes I might say GG, of course, but typically no, it's just, hey, it's over. Because I will say this, that's a topic we'll have to save for a whole nother time. Whenever you're about to win and you say GG, that is the most BM thing in the world. I refuse to do that. I would never do that. And that's happened to me before, guys. I've lost games where people GG me before the game's over. That's why, hey, if I lose, you got it, and I just jump out. Some people might falsely interpret that as like, oh, why are you being a bad sport? I'm not. I'm just pop. You know, I'm just leaving. Good game. We move on. Especially when it comes to TCGs like this in person. Now, let me say this: in person, I always say, "Hey, you got it, man. Good game. You got me." But when it comes to online, next game. I'm trying to queue up, as many games as I can as fast as I can. Okay, so that's it for Black Yellow Luffy. Next up, we have Purple Black. Or no. Yeah, Purple Black Luffy. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, equalizer. Whoops, did not mean to hit that. Speed, 2x. Volume's off, and here we go, guys. All right, so I get a pretty good start here by busting out the stage. Oh, this game's a banger, guys. I remember this one. This one's a banger. I get the stage out right away, so now my Sanjis are turned on. I'm not running the list that I think is most optimized. I'm just trying out a list that I think looked good. I'm just trying out a list that I came up with that looked good to me. So use the Zoro's effect to ramp up a Dawn, and I get 3 Dawn active from doing that effect like that. And here we go. I think it might have been 2 Dawn, but I had 1 Dawn left for the turn. Play out another Searcher, fix my hand, swing in for 7. I'm just trying to go as wide as I can. Guys, against Yellow, the wider you can go, the better. The wider you can go, the better. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what they decide to do. Playing out a Cracker. Playing out a Cracker. Looks like that's my first victim, right? It looks like Cracker's going to be my first victim with Sanji here. We'll pop that. So how unfortunate, guys, how unfortunate that you can't play out black characters with Luffy Taro. Or like just any Straw Hat character. It can only be a purple character if I remember correctly. Because that would have been insane this turn. Playing that out with tempo like that, and I think it would have been awesome. Excuse me. I mean, I know a lot of people might be thinking like, oh, that's not balanced. It's like, well, oh, well, no, I'm just kidding. Too bad. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here we go. We block out of that or something, or we didn't block out of the Zoro attack, and now it's just time to kind of attack in. I'm trying to pop characters as much as I can as we go here, because I have to get rid of their characters while I establish characters. You guys are going to get sick of me saying this, but while we're waiting on this guy, I'm going to explain something real quick. Currently in the game, things might change in the future, but currently, if you are not developing 2 bodies at a time, like once you get to like the 4, 5, 6 Dawn turns and so on, if you're not developing 2 bodies at a time, or developing a body that removes a body, you're doing something wrong. Like you're playing to lose. It's hard to explain. The only thing that might go against that is like an aggro deck, but that's very different. I'm talking about like mid-range and control decks. You have to either develop 2 bodies at a time or develop a body that removes a body to equal it out. Okay, here we go. We used a blocker there to save the Sanji. They have 7 Dawn left. Are they about to play out 7 Lin maybe? Yep. Okay, gain a life. I'm just going to let them gain. I can't stand letting my opponent gain life like that and get access to more triggers. But in this situation, guys, I just didn't have a chance. I just had to do it in this specific way. Because remember, guys, they haven't even played out their 10 Lin yet. They're still on a 9 Dawn turn. Okay, now here's one of the rare situations that I type to someone. I usually never talk in the sim. And that's how I am when I play games. I'd rather turn off my voice comms and stuff like that. Even with communication with team, I like to just do my own thing and like be in my own world. Right here, I hit the guy with a question mark. He didn't answer. Then I hit him like, hey, are you going to pass the turn? And then he finally passed the turn. I wasn't rude or anything. I was saying, hey, are you going to pass the turn? So here we go. We're going to swing in for 6 here. I'm just poking this guy. I'm poking and poking and poking. I'm playing for the board. I'm trying to play into the late game and get full value here. Okay, they get a Kikanojo trigger. Less than ideal. Okay, swinging in for 6 more. Okay, if they took the last one, why not take this one too? I don't know what the difference would be. I guess it depends. Swing for 6 more. Okay, and now I think we're... Excuse me. I think at this point I may develop the Luffy Taro or develop double blockers here. I can't remember. Luffy Taro, I like that a lot. And I think develop a blocker on top of that and then get to fix my hand a little bit. Seems good. My hand is absolutely stacked. I have 2 of the 1-cost Gum Gum Giants, and I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 K counter. Okay, 8 into 6. No, I'm not going to let you have that. He didn't attach any Dawn. He's trying to play out a 10 Lin this turn. That is a sign, guys. If they start attacking and they're not using any Dawn at all, that typically means, for Katakuri at least, 10 Lin's coming, if they're on their 10 Dawn turn. 5 into face here. I really don't want to take that. I have to give him a 2K counter, hoping he didn't realize that I have nothing but 2Ks in my hand. Plays out 10 Lin. I trash a life. He gains a life. And now... We actually have some targets to attack into on the board here, but is it too late for that? I think at this point it's too late to go for the board, and these bodies are slightly too big for me to really deal with. So we're going to swing 6 into 5. This will force a 2k counter versus a 1k counter if I swung into the Kikanojo, which also would have gave them a life. They get a blocker. Okay, we're going to swing for 6. Again, notice how I'm just trying to swing for 6s here to get every card out of their hand and optimize my turn so I have Dawn to play with to play out these other characters. They get another Brûlé. Now, I'm not scared of Brûlé. First of all, I have 2 Usohachis in my hand, but I'm not scared of Brûlé. I'm not afraid of him loading 4 Dawn on that and attacking enemy. That's probably not going to happen, right? That's my logic. That is probably not going to happen. So right here, play out the Frankie, play out the Onami. I got to draw 2, trash 1, or I guess trash 1, draw 2, 2 times. So that was basically trash 2, draw 4. And here we go. I take that last hit there just in case. So why did I take that last hit as opposed to blocking out? Because just in case they have another Tenlin. If they have another Tenlin, they just wasted that attack. You see what I'm saying? If they have another Tenlin, then, you know, what can I say? Like, if I would have used a blocker there, I would have been in so much trouble because I lose my blocker and lose a life from the effect. Okay, and if they had another Tenlin, by the way, that was a play mistake on their part. Okay, let's keep going. They're going to swing it for 8. That's a perfect counter, perfect way for me to get to 9k with my my Gum Gum Giant, which allowed me to trash a dead card and go draw 2 new cards. And here we go. Going to block out of that last one. He's going to come in for 5 here. Or not. Or not. What's he got here? Tapping out for 5, playing Onami with 3 cards or less in hand, trashing playing out the Nami, trashing the Onami. And unfortunately, that Frankie is only a 5-cost character because he does not get the effect of the stage. It is what it is. They play out a Katakuri, immediately replacing the Nami, revealing the top card of their life, which is a Nami. And now it's not, this isn't exactly pretty, right? If I have to use, understand this, guys, if I have to use a Gum Gum Giant here, which it looks like that's what I'm going to do, I will go down to 6 Dawn. And so next turn, I'll only be able to get up to 8. We had to do it, though. That was, I determined, okay, that's just the best way to do this. That's my only chance. Okay, now what? What do we do, guys? What are we supposed to do here? Let's see what my opponent gives me. Let's see what kind of information my opponent wants to give me, because I have double Usohachi in hand, and I am on 8 Dawn. However, I can also play to try to go in one more turn. Okay, here we go. Swing for 6. I'm just poking. What kind of information are you going to tell me? Right? That's what I'm asking for right now. I would be using a Brûlé immediately in this situation right here, because it would force me to do more things, right? They gave me cards from hand. Pause. So, now, okay, they gave me the cards in their hand versus the card in their life or cards on the field. That is a... So now I have lethal. Does everybody see it, guys? Does everyone see lethal? The game's over. They can't survive now. They can't win. So right now, if I swing for 5 3 times... Well, first of all 3 will require a block, right? But I have 2 Usohachis in hand. So they're about to lose 2 blockers here, right? They're about to lose 2 blockers from the Usohachis. Watch, I end up almost messing up on this, and then I go from there. So watch this, guys. So they have to give me one of these blockers right here. They give me one of the blockers, and now watch this. I have to do a little bit of math. I'm like, wait a minute. How are they supposed to survive a 6k and an 8k attack? Right, which would actually be like a 7k and 9k, by the way, because it's a 3 cost and a 3 cost. So I pop 1, push down the other, swing 6, swing 8, GG. It's over. So there were a few ways I could have done that. I could have done it with the double Usohachi, or I could have done it with the Sanji. But the idea was, wait a minute, this game is over. So always look for your outs, guys. Always look for, like, wait, how do I end the game this turn? Because let's go back to right here. This is the beginning of this turn, right? It actually doesn't look great for me because they have triple blocker, 1 life, and 2 cards in hand. When they gave me both cards in hand, guys, that's, for me, that was when it was game over. So what I would have done in this exact situation right here, when I swung for 6, boom, right here, pause. Here's a Brûlé. Hey, did you want a Brûlé? Because you've got one now. Here's a Brûlé for you, good sir. That's just how I would have done it. Now, it is true that I probably still could have gotten through because I could have just used double Usohachi and then just loaded up, you know, swing 7, swing 9, or something like that. Or excuse me, it might have been swing 6, 7, 8. but still, like, you know, when they gave me both cards from hand, now I have information. I have full information of the board, right? Because I know what the top card of their life is. I know every card on the board. I can see it. And then, but the only thing I don't have knowledge of in this entire game is the 2 cards in their hand. So when they used those 2 cards in their hand, for all I knew, those could have been double 2K counters. Now, real quick, we had another option. This game actually wasn't even close to over if I didn't want it to be. So right here, I could have just swung swing 5 with leader, swing 6, swing 6, swing 8, right? And then I actually could have played out a Frankie into another Frankie and sat on a, what's it called, the 1-cost event. Because remember, guys, Frankie makes you return 2 cards to your Dawn deck, and then the leader brings 2 cards back, 1 rested and then one active. So I could have used both of those, gone all the way down in Dawn to whatever I needed, and then sat on the 1-cost event. Or another option, I would have done that. But the other option would have been, if I didn't have 2 Frankies, okay, I use the Frankie's effect. I don't get the Dawn back. Like, I choose not to use the leader's effect there. Now I'm down to 4 Dawn, play out the Sanji for 3, and sit on the 1-cost event that way. So hopefully that made sense, guys. We had a lot of options there. Purple Black Luffy, I think, is probably going to do best when you're building him more aggressively and low to the ground, where you could just fill the board super wide and fall back on you know, plays like that, because there's a lot of room for outplays with a deck like this, guys. Okay, I'm just yapping today. I'm just yapping. Okay, now we got a game of Purple Luffy. I'm sure a lot of people were probably waiting for this game. I know a lot of people like Purple Luffy right now, and it's a very strong deck. It's basically what we just saw, but it has built-in ramp. And I'm playing a version that I kind of made up myself, so what I was trying to do with this version, I think, was just ramp straight to 7. I think that's my only goal. Playing against a Perona. Okay, Perona's a pretty tough matchup for anyone. I think there's a play mistake in this game. I'm trying to remember. Anytime I play against Perona or play as Perona, there's bound to be a play mistake. I don't know why. Okay, they do use the Momonosuke, and guys, you know me. I'm going for the board. I am always going to go for the board unless I'm playing some specific deck that doesn't go for the board, like some very aggressive list or something like that. I'm always going to go for the board. So right here, they're going to tap my guy down. I'm fine with it because he already ramped the Dawn. That's all I needed him to do. Okay, yep, and now he's going to swing for 5. Now I can actually take this if I want to, because I'm probably not going to use the leader effect anymore. Swing 6 into 0 so he couldn't get the free block. Play out the 7-cost Luffy Taro to cheat out the 5-cost Sanji. Your turn. That play right there, guys, absolutely gross. Okay, that's wild. We're going to talk about that for a second. Oh, this is an OP08.5 list, by the way, guys. This list for Purple Luffy does not have the OP09 cards in it. We'll talk about this later. But that play right there was wild. Okay, that was a wild play. I get what they're trying to do. Like, okay, I only have 4 cards in my hand, so okay, let's attack. You know, let's attack enemy to get more cards out of my hand or get more life. But you're refilling my hand, right? Because eventually, one thing that Purple Luffy does very well is just completely fill the board with blockers. It just fills up the board with blockers. And then I don't know if they had a miscalculation or what, but they just used Jack's effect on my Sanji, and he's a 4-cost character. Remember, guys, Jack only hits a 3-cost character. So, yeah, that ended up not working out well for them. Okay, swing for 5. I'm going to get rid of the Jinbei here. We're going to smash 10 into 8. Let's start getting cards out of hand. All right, so 2 over, got that card. Hey, be careful, guys, whenever you go to let a card go. All right, this, especially if you're playing in person, you don't want to telegraph that you have no cards in hand, okay, or they have no counter. So right there, when they got rid of their card, I know this is just the sim. They could have all 2K counters in their hand for all I know. But the point is this. When you take it like that, that tells me something. I mean, you could be misleading me. That's like Inception levels of trying to outplay your opponent. But right there, they took that so fast, and they got rid of Jack that fast. I'm like, okay, you have no counters in hand. Smash 10 into 8, smash 8 into 6. And we got both the cards off the board. We still have 5 Dawn for the turn. We have a few different options here, but the main option is just going to be to play out the Nami here as a blocker and sit on a 1-cost 4K counter. Okay, here we go. Okay. play out the Nami, like I said. We got to fix our hand a little bit. We trashed the Pauly. Pauly's not the greatest in this matchup, but he's also not bad. Pauly's actually one of those cards where if I were you guys and you're planning on playing Purple Luffy into locals in OP08.5, Pauly deals with a lot of cards that Blue Doflamingo will be playing. Okay, coming in for 6 here, I'm just going to give him a blocker. You can have a blocker. So they're going to play out the Gecko Moria. They're going to be able to pop my my Sanji this time. Very unfortunate. They'll do a top 5 search with Otama. They might have whiffed it. No, they did. They got a Hiyori from it, and then they popped my card with Ryuma. And here we go. How do we want to deal with this? I always take characters off the board, especially against Perona, guys. If you don't take characters off the board against Perona, they can use those cards later with You Can Be My Samurai. And I don't want that to happen. Okay, so right here we do a top 5 search with the new Zoro, playing out the Luffy, which cheats out the Zoro. Zoro does the top 5 search. You grab a purple Straw Hat Crew card, and now it's my opponent's turn. I have 2 Dawn active. I'm threatening 2 Radical Beams, or 2 Blast Breaths in Purple's case. And he might be thinking like, oh, this guy's bluffing. This is OP08.5. He doesn't have Gum Gum Giant. True. You're right. I don't have Gum Gum Giant, but I sure have a Blast Breath over here. Okay, I do go ahead and take it right now because I am trying to bait him into like, okay, maybe I don't have the 1 cost 4K, guys. Wink, wink, right? Okay, he's going to swing in here for 8. I'm like, okay, that's annoying, but we're going to get out of it. Then he swings in for 9. We're going to take it. Now, this is all very greedy. He gets rid of my Zoro with X-Drake. Very nice. That X-Drake is solid in Perona. Helps with the Doffy matchup as well. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do here, guys? 8 into 6. Let's see if he wants to give me some counters. He does not. Very, very wisely chooses not to give me any counters there because that was not going to go well. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I need some blockers. So I think what I'm going to do is play out double Nami this turn. Completely fix my hand. Poke in for 7. Poke in for 8. Does he want to give me double 2K counters? Let's see. We're just waiting on the opponent here to make a decision. I think they should. A 0 cost 3K and then a 1K. Okay, sure. In that case, they should have gotten out of my first attack if they were able. It was just a 6K. We play out Nami, fix our hand. Play out Nami, fix our hand. And now we have double blocker. They can rest 1 blocker with their leader effect. Don't forget that, guys. So I have to counter out very precisely here or it could cost me. But let's just do a little bit of counting in my hand here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Plus 4 from the Blast Breath. I have 18K counter in hand. Okay? Feeling pretty good about this. Feeling pretty good about this. I do have 2 blockers. But yeah. That's one thing about Purple Luffy, guys. It feels like Purple Luffy has infinite number of 2K counters and infinite blockers. That's just what it feels like when I'm playing it. It's not true, of course, but that's what it feels like. Okay, swinging for 7 is a 2K 1K. I'm pretty sure that's a 2K 1K. Whoops, that was close. I almost gave him a 2K 2K on accident there. Okay, swinging in for 7 more. That's another 2K 1K. There we go. And it looks like they're going to load up here. So notice that I'm going to use my blocker for the final big attack. All right, we get a Zoro there. That's not really going to help us. But at the same time, I do have an Uso Hachi here, right? I do have Uso Hachi here if I need it. We will swing for 9. They take it. We will swing for 9. And if they take this, I think we might just go for lethal. I think we might just go for it. Okay, well, now we're definitely going for it because you're the one who should disappear or whatever it's called. Hang on, pause. They only got to 10. They only got to 8K. GG. So there was still an option. Let me go back real quick, guys. So I swung in for 9. He took both, and he got whoever wins this war becomes justice, and it taps down my only blocker. So before that, I still had 8 Dawn left, so I could have very safely played out my 1-cost event to see what was coming from the top 5 cards, and then I could play out the 6-cost Sanji and still sit on a Blast Breath. However, resting down my only blocker made me second-guess trying that. It's like, you know what, I think I'm just going to try to go for it, and if we get it, we get it, and if we don't, we don't. And sometimes that is what it comes down to, but do understand, guys, I still had some pretty insane counter power in my hand if I did need to use it. Really good stuff there. Excuse me. Because the chances are, one more thing, guys, the chances are if I had not, so say he didn't tap down my guy, I probably wouldn't have gone for lethal there. I probably just would have kept attacking, you know, with my Luffy, just swing for, well, no, see, but I didn't swing for 5 with Luffy first, which is what I should have done. I don't know. Whatever the case is, I still could have sat back on defense if I needed to there, because I had 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 plus 4, 13k in hand. And then with my searcher, my 1-cost searcher, I could have potentially gotten another blocker or another 2k counter. Either one would have been, you know, good for what we're trying to do there. Okay, one more game, guys. So we did black, yellow Luffy, purple, black Luffy, purple Luffy, and now red, purple Luffy, which is right here. All right, we got a game versus Nami, guys. We got a game versus Nami. This was interesting. I've never done this matchup before. This one comes down to the wire, I think. Okay, not the start that I wanted either, even after the mulligan. I was hoping to get something that would ramp me Dawn here. We don't get any way to ramp Dawn. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. Okay, so right here, real quick, we missed a very important play. Hang on one second, guys. So watch this. So they play out a Kaya on turn 1 with only 1 Dawn active. So I do swing for 9. I swing for 9 with my leader. If I could have only swung for 8, I wouldn't have done it. But red, purple Luffy is a 6k leader. I can swing for 9 into 1 Dawn. Well, that will cost them 3 cards from their hand if they can get out of it. Because Gum Gum Giant Gavel, remember guys, Gum Gum Giant Gavel costs 1 to get +4, but you have to trash a card from hand. And that would only get them to 9, so they'd have to give me 1 more card from their hand. Very, very important encounter there. That would have dropped them down to 2 cards in hand. I would have been fine with that if they could have countered out. Instead, they take it. That was the wise decision if that was even an option for them. Sanji's pull off here. Now it's different, okay? Now it's a little different, guys. They have a lot of cards in hand. I'm not swinging again. It's not happening, especially when I need to develop the board. Guys, against Nami, just develop your board. It's just that simple. Just develop your board. Okay, so they play out Apis. They see what I'm doing. They see I'm playing very smart. I'm trying not to give them any chance here. They're trying to tempt me to attack with 3 Dawn active. It's not happening. I've played Nami too many times. I know too well. I'm not doing that, right? I mean, who knows? It depends on the matchup, of course. It depends on what's in my hand and things like that. But typically speaking, it's not happening. Okay. So they play out Zeph. 9 Dawn turn. We're just going to play this and pass. I technically should have probably ramped a Dawn. It's not going to matter. This is not a matchup where that matters. Unless it was just to get to 10 Dawn, if I wanted to just cheat out the 10 cost Luffy real quick. Okay, so now, all right, pause. All right, they have 4 Dawn. I have a 10k attacker. I am ready to start giving them a 10k attack every turn, right? I'm ready to start doing that. So watch what we do here, guys. This is very interesting. Swing for 10. I believe they take it. They do take it. They have 2 Zephs on the board. And guys, this might seem like a crazy play here, but watch what happens next. Let's go ahead and play out the Luffy, right? Let's play out the 10 cost Luffy. So I considered attacking into the Zephs, but we're not doing that. I play out the 10 cost Luffy, and I do not activate his on-play effect. I just want a 10 cost 12k on the board. That's all I need for attacker power currently. Okay. All right, here we go, guys. Pause. I'm about to untap. Let me see what I draw for the turn. Okay, I got to use this kid. Who cares? Okay. Now, my opponent only has 5 Dawn active, and I'm about to swing a lot of times, right? I'm about to swing a lot of times. Probably, if I had to guess, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, right? 7 times, because this is the turn that I'm ready to actually use the 10 cost 12k Luffy in my hand. Okay, actually use him for the on-play effect. So watch how this goes, guys. Because once Nami is out of Dawn, they can't do anything. They can counter out with their hand like 1Ks and 2Ks, but other than that, they can't really do anything. So watch what happens here, guys. I swing for 12 and see if I can start going this turn. I'm like, okay, if that's going to go through, I probably can start going this turn. So let's swing for 6. See what they want to give me. Overheat to bounce a Kaya back to their hand. 6k again. Apis to get out of it. Swing for 10. Gum Gum Giant Gavel gets him to 9. And I don't know what just happened. Oh, they trashed a card, and then they went plus 1,000. So they trashed White Snake there. And now, okay, here we go. So watch this, guys. So now, I'm going to use the leader effect. So I played out the Luffy there. They have no Dawn active. Understand that. Understand that this was not really even that risky, because they have 2. I know they have 1 Kaya in hand. So Hang on. I wonder, did they use the Kaya to get out of one of these attacks? I think they did. Hang on one second, guys. I think it was this turn right here. Hang on. No. Whoops, it was before that. Or not this turn. It was this attack. So this is where they bounce back a Kaya. And then I swing for 6 more. Oh, they gave me an Apis. So I know they have a Kaya in hand. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Gum Gum Giant Gabble trashing that card. And then they used a White Snake. Okay, they used a White Snake and a 1K counter to get out of that. So I know for a fact they have a Kaya in their hand and then 4 random cards. I don't know what those random cards are. So now I'm going to swing for 7. If this... So right there, guys, hang on. So right here, I don't know what happened. They must not have realized... Yeah, they just threw a card away. It should have been the Kaya. That was their chance to win this game. Like, right there was their chance to win the game. Because now I'm coming in for 9. And then I'm coming in for 13. Let me pause. I want to pause. So there's the Kaya. Double Kaya. Yeah, so I'm so confused on why they didn't use the Kaya on that one attack. However, at the end of this, if I didn't win right here, I was definitely going to be losing this game. So just understand that it did require a little bit of a play mistake on my opponent or something. Again, I'm so confused on this right here. Watch, right? Let me hit... no, it was before this. It was this 7K attack right here. So watch this. I play out the guy. We know they have a Kaya in hand, and watch what they do here. Okay, I swing for 7 into 6. They gave me a... They gave me a Zeph 1K counter and took the hit when we know they have Kaya in hand. So either that was pure greed or a miscalculation. I don't know what it was, what the difference is, but hey, at the end of the day, it ended up being a W, for me, because then it's like, okay, now I'm coming in for 9K. Oh, and that was a misclick. Oh, real quick, guys, I did not mean to attach one. So I had one Dawn selected, and then I clicked on the 10 cost Luffy to activate his effect and accidentally gave him a Dawn. That was not intended. For those who might be wondering, that was not actually intended. Okay, so then I come in for 9K, and then we're going to come in for 13, and that's that. So he bounced back one Kaya with that overheat, and then the other Kaya, and yeah, GG. That was a fun one. Okay, that's it. That's it for the Luffy action. That game ended up being, or not game, that, what's going on here? Let me move my head real quick. There we go. Those games ended up, or this video, gosh, guys, I can't even think. This video ended up being way longer than I thought. Okay, so let's go over to PLuffy West. So this is the purple deck we'll check out first. And this is kind of what I recommend for people who are using purple Luffy for now. There might be a better list out there. I'm not saying this is the best list. But let me just say right now, this card right here, really good stuff. The only thing I would potentially add to this deck is some top-end cards. But maybe not that many, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'd run that many top-end cards. Because I think if I remember correctly, there was a list I saw that was running like no top end cards, like nothing over 7 Dawn. But I do believe that was an OP09, so that they had the 7 cost Luffy and the 7 cost the new Sanji. But we'll have to see. But yeah, this is the purple list. I'll have everything linked down in the comment section below, guys, if you want to try it. For purple black Luffy, let me see what that one was. Purple Black Luffy, PB9 Flood. Now, of course, this is OP09 because the leader comes out then. This is what I was running for that. This is the 7 cost Sanji I was just talking about. Pause this and read this if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, this is the list I was running. Notice I'm not running any top end again. I really like running these purple Straw Hat decks really low to the ground and just go super wide, block her up, infinite 2K counters. Like, let me see something. 1... 2, and do I have, well, this one, actually, no, this one doesn't have as many 2K counters, but it does have the 1 cost event. Am I, like, overlooking something? I think that's crazy if I only have 8 2K counters in this list. No, I think that's all it is. I have 8 2K counters, but then I do have, let me see, 4, 8 blockers, 8 2K counters, and then 4 of the Gum Gum Giant, the Gum Gum Giants. But maybe this is what makes it work. Frankie and Onami, they are drawing 2, trashing 1, ultimately. Like, it's trash 1, draw 2, but still, it's doing, guys, that is massive for what this deck's trying to do. I have ways to flood the board, lots of searchability between, the Zoro, drawing cards with all, with the Frankie, the Onami, the Gum Gum Giants, the Trafalgar Law. It just lets me fix my hand so much. It felt like I had infinite 2K counters when I only had 8 in the entire deck. Who knows? Maybe that was just luck. No idea. Okay, then we have red purple. Let me check out red purple Luffy. Okay. Was that? I wonder if that was west or east. Red purple Luffy. Hang on. I think this is what I was running. I don't remember. I'll try to check, and then I'll try to add it to the deck list down below. I think this is what I was running. I think it was red purple Luffy 85. 85 standing for 8.5. Because what I was trying to do. Who did I? Oh, Nami. I played against Nami. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this is the list. I'm pretty sure this is the list I was running against Nami. And yeah, nothing too crazy here. I was just trying out a primarily purple Straw Hat deck with a little bit of other support. It was pretty fun. You know, it was pretty good. But that was just Nami. And again, my opponent made a massive play mistake. I don't know if they still... I didn't check how many cards were in their deck. They may have still lost. I have no idea. Who knows how they could have gotten out of the 12k attack next turn for my Luffy. But it seemed like they were pretty much done for. But no, the bigger problem was the Zephs on the board, right? Excuse me. The bigger problem was they had 2 Zephs on the board. So if they went to smash in and I couldn't get out of those, that's what would have made it ugly. Okay, so this, I believe this is the red purple Luffy list. And like I said, guys, I'll try to check before posting them to make sure I give the exact correct list in the comment section. Okay, and last but not least, of course, we have one of my absolute favorites, black yellow Luffy, just straight up. Here it is. This is it. It's just, I've been running this for a while now. I like to run the 4 cards of Ace, the 2/2 cost, the 2/5 cost. I think I just love this card. I don't know what it is, guys. I just love this card. Everything else in the deck's running fine. Everything else has been working fine. As long as you have, like, the Searchers, the 2k counter utility for life, you know, for drawing your own life. You have the Geckos, you have your Sabos and Luffys, especially the buff Luffy right here. I am running, so I think, I've mentioned this before, but I think all 4 of these cards, or excuse me, all 6 of these cards, the 2 Kuzans, the 2 Ace, and the two Little Ace, I think these are straight utility cards. You can pretty much put whatever 6 cards you want in this spot. And I think some people even go down on some of other things here. Like, I think they actually go down one of these, or even more of the Three Brothers Bond. I'm not sure, but I don't know. This list feels completely figured out. It feels good. Excuse me. Every now and then you might just brick. It happens. I've had games where I just never see Sabo. I've had games where I just never see Gecko Moria, or I bury Gecko Moria under searches. It happens. It can definitely happen to anybody. But generally speaking, this list, what you see here, other than a few like tech choices that you can move around however you want to, this is black, yellow Luffy. All right, I'm done, guys. I'm done ranting. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. Big shout out to everybody who supports the channel, guys. Guys, if you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing my stuff, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Big shout out to the VV Pirates playmat supporters. Thank you guys for supporting me in that way. Hopefully you're enjoying your playmats. And last but not least, the VV Pirates patron page. Thank you to everybody on here. Whoops, let me shrink my head a little more. There we go. Big shout out to everybody on here. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel in the ways you do. Thank you guys so much. All right, I'm done. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions or anything like that, please do not hesitate to say something in the comment section below. And yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.